Hey, so I just finished my run and now I have this amazing value to share with you. And I was going to talk to you about why pain, or actually not why pain, but how pain, like, right, how do you deal, how does pain have an effect? How does it alert you to the problems that are inside of you? And I'm going to ask you to take a step back for a second and try to think about this from an outside perspective. You know, imagine, just think about the world and what are the things that alert us? What are the things that excite us? What sensations get us going? I mean, it's a freezing cold day, or it's a decently cold day here in Pittsburgh. So for me, I would go for a hot drink, because a hot coffee or a hot tea would be a nice contrast. So we always go for the contrast. Like a cold day, or I'm sorry, a hot summer day, we go for the ice cream. Or maybe we'll go for a ice cold drink, right? With, Scotch on the rocks. Something that's different, right, than what you would usually have. And so, in some sense, tension is actually not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. It's a sign that something different is coming. It's something, right? This stress is essentially that. It's taking us out of our just complacency of things just being as they are. And now we have like the stress of something new coming in. There's a sensation we're not used to, a sensation we never dealt with. And it could create tension. It could create tension because if we try to stop that new sensation from coming in, it can get really overwhelming. And often we could feel like, I don't want this to happen. So we crouch down and we try to stop that feeling from coming in, and that builds tension within us. So that is ultimately what tension is, and pain. Pain essentially is simply letting us know that there is a contrast coming in. Like, often we have emotions, we have conflicting emotions, and we're not aware of them. Like, we say, no, it's all good, it's all fine. Like, do you ever ask somebody how they're doing? Yeah, it's great day, awesome. And often that word loses its meaning because people don't really mean that, right? They don't mean awesome, but they say that. Or often people say they're having a great day, they don't mean that. And so often, but in some sense they do mean that, but they feel like they're forced to accept that's the way it is. They're not happy about it, they don't like it, but they just do it because they say that's the way it is. They're just trying to be, the run of the mill. So what we really have here is an opportunity when we have things coming into our mind, when we have thoughts coming into ourself, an opportunity to assess them and ask ourselves, when things are happening, are we okay with these things that are coming from the outside, or are we not? Do we not like them? And if we don't like them, then we have another choice, which is, are we going to fight them and create tension? Or are we going to say, nah, it's okay, it's normal, we can handle it, we can figure out, we can deal with it, we can deal with that crap. And the truth is, that's what you see across the board. Because often when we have an emotion that we don't want to handle, like, I don't know, that means some of the examples I would bring would be, we go for food. Like, food is a big comforter because we have emotions we don't want to deal with, but we don't want to deal with them, so we eat, right? Or sometimes we go to drugs, or we go to alcohol. All of these things are just to take us away from these emotions that we don't want to handle. But sometimes people say, oh, I'm not on drugs, I'm not on alcohol, I'm good diets, so and I have no stress whatsoever. But they do, right? They're not dealing with all of the stresses, and so at that point, now we have pain, because pain's almost a notion to yourself. There's a problem. There's a real problem here. There's something inside of self that you're ignoring. And the pain is simply, it's a contrast. It's a conflicting feeling on the external side of your body, right? Like we always spoke about how dis-ease, right? This disease on the outside comes from dis-ease on the inside, right? So when we have a dis-ease with emotions and feelings that are coming through, and we try to fight them, then we build tension. When tension builds, then we get a notification on our desktop, which essentially is our body, our leg, our back, our mind, our heart. I mean, anything, somewhere in our physical body to let us know there's something going on the inside that needs to be fixed. So it's almost a message to us. Don't try to just fix a symptom. Like if I try to plug an outlet, try to plug a power drill or power into an outlet in my house that's able to handle a very small amount of electricity, right? So I'll plug it in and the outlet blows up. Now, that's a problem. So it would not be a very smart thing if I just fixed the outlet and plugged it again. It would blow up again. It's not made to handle this gigantic power tool that I have. What I need to do really is go back and find a higher switch, a switch like on my switchboard that's like higher ampage or higher voltage. I'm sorry, experts, that's not my field. But essentially, what we have to do is we have to go back to the source of the problem, not try to just fix a symptom. And so often what happens is people are just fixing the symptom. A headache pops in Advil. It doesn't solve the problem. What it does is it dulls the sensation. Like waking up in the morning, right? Do you ever have your alarm clock goes off, and if you snooze it or you shut it off, that doesn't stop the day. The day keeps happening. But what happens is people think they're shutting the day off because snooze. No, you're just knocking off the symptom. But it's not. The alarm clock is not angry at you. It's not trying to do something. It's not going to bother you. It's simply notifying you there's something wrong, or it's time to go, or it's time to wake up, it's time to move. It's an alert system, and that's what pain is. It's an alert system for us. It's an alert system to tell us, hey, fix it. Get inside, figure out what the issue is, be aware of it, and you'll find it. And the easy way to do that, the easy way to find out what this alert system is doing, the easy way to figure out what are these thoughts, is simply look at our thoughts and examine them and think, what could those thoughts be? And just think about the conflicting thoughts. We always have conflicting thoughts. Like there's a work tomorrow that we don't want to deal with. And how are we dealing with them? Are we ignoring them? Ignoring them is not the answer, right? That's what the typical response would be. Just ignore it and it will go away, because it doesn't go away. What we need to do is acknowledge what it is and allow it to pass through. Just come through and just take it and accept it for what it is. Because when we stop, the way we give it power, the way we give it energy is when we have the conflict, right? Again, like sweet and sour meatballs. If the meatballs were just sweet, no one would eat them, right? If they were just sour, no one would eat them either. People eat them because of the contrast. It's the contrast that arouses our sensations and our senses. So it's the same thing with our pain and our emotions. Our emotions are only causing us a contrast, or only causing us a problem because we're fighting them. We're creating a contrast. When we accept them as they are and don't try to fight them, then there's no contrast anymore. They're welcome in, and they are as they are, and they're bland now, and they don't cause any problem because it's just the contrast that causes the problem. And so one of the ways to do that, for example, is to, if I have to deal with a client I don't want to deal with, or I have to deal with a friend, or I have to deal with something I don't want to deal with. It's like, this is who they are. Accept them from who they are. It's what it is. And now it becomes bland. It's not. I don't hype up the thing that I don't do like. I don't hype up that which I don't like. I hype up that which I do like. And by hyping up that which I do like, I get rid of the contrast. I get rid of the conflict. And by getting rid of the conflict, then the issue becomes a non-issue. And again, we're trying to use the food recipe, but in reverse, right? Again, for food, the way we create excitement in the food is by creating spices. And again, sweet and sour meatballs and ice cream. And for our emotions, we want to do the reverse. The emotions are coming in just the opposite. They're on the extreme. They're spicy and they're hot. And they're things that just like it's hard to handle. So our job is to actually make them not spicy and just bland them down. And there's two ways to do that. One way is to raise us up to where the emotions are and be able to just handle them and just face them on face to face and deal with them. Or sometimes we could tamp the emotions down. But either way, we want to get in line with the emotions so they could just pass right through and not really affect us in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, have an awesome day, and thanks for listening. Hope this was helpful in some way.